Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist back again. You see my friend Time Wizard. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be explaining the next set, sort of like another set review, as far as like the chronology of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, initially, me and Celestial handled doing the Legend of Blue Eyes set release by our as a team. And what we did was we came up with two major decks. We played Exodia. We played what we thought was going to be like the best version of like a beatdown or aggressive deck. We built both of these. We played both of these. 3 weeks later, in the real world, so on March 8th, we got the set, Legend of Blue Eyes. You did not get a starter deck. 3 weeks later, 21 days, we get two starter decks. And I want to go over the deck lists with you guys. I do want to build 3x decks for you guys. I do want to upgrade the decks that I currently have and then maybe build some other like time period builds, right? So real quick, starter deck Yugi had, and I want to say these were both 50 card decks. They would introduce some new cards, some things that would be reprinted in a lesser rarity, so it was easier for people to get a hold of, such as Trap Hole. Trap Hole would become like a common. You could just have it. We would get more than 3 traps. In fact, Trap Hole and Two-Pronged Attack and Dragon Capture Jar, where is it? Are all reprinted just in the Yugi build, which means you've already got all the traps that existed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the Legend of Blue Eyes by buying this set. Again, $10 at your local hobby shop. You finally have a rule, like one of these little hand rule books. I got a couple for some different games right here, right now. We got the Codebreaker starter deck. We got the DDM. You would get the original Yugi rule book back then. And it would explain things like ritual summoning, which was not quite yet a thing, I believe. They may have saved that one for the Pegasus Joey sets of rulebooks, because Spell Ruler wasn't out yet. But what you'd end up with is you would end up with the basic rules and a plethora of new monsters. So like Ancient Elf, new print, slightly stronger than the Celtic Guardian, slightly stronger than the Witty Phantom. You got Ansatsu, not a terrible one tribute, 1700. Baron of the Fiend Sword, again with these 50s in the attack values, which make life point tracking harder. Beaver Warrior, the Book of Secret Arts, one of the best spells to come out of this. Card Destruction. We still use this card today. It's super good. We got Castle Walls. It's a temporary plus 500 defense, which is not bad if you're a defense player. Celtic Guardian got a nice reprint, so he's down from super to common for collectors. Change of Heart. This is actually a preprint, meaning that this comes out during, I want to say it was Metal Raiders. Metal Raiders doesn't come out until a little while afterward. You get like a month or two. And then you'll get an ultra rare version of the Change of Heart. But for now, we get commons, which is nice. We get Claw Reacher, because you got to have something with some terrible stats. Curse of Dragon, good reprint. Again, this guy was like super rare before. Same thing with Dark Hole. Dark Magician, you actually get a different art than was in Legend of Blue Eyes, so collectors are picking these up. Not just for the new cards, but the new art as well. So it maintains some sort of value for the Legend of Blue Eyes. Don't expect like Exodia prints again anytime soon. D-Spell, probably one of the best cards in the early game. Target a face-up spell or one set spell trap card. If the card is a spell, you get to destroy it. If it's not, you just reveal it and set it back down. Don Keto, the Cure Master, quick gain 1000. Doma, the Angel of Silence, again, kind of not needed. Dragon Zombie, not terrible stats. Again, this immediately replaces everything that we've already seen. Fisher gets a nice common reprint, so it's easy to flesh out your deck with those. Gaia's in here as a common. So that's already 2 of the ultra rares and a super rare just put in here. So if you had the polymerizations and the Gaia the Dragon Champion, now you could play it. Giant Soldier of Stone, we get a quick reprint. So good, best defense. Great White, automatically replacing one of the lower attack value cards. Last Will. This card is insanely good and still costs a decent amount of money because like the sets that this thing was printed in, there's just not that many. And I'm not sure if those are seriously the only 3 or not. But as far as cards go, this is a crazy pull. It's a good spell. It's a great spell. And in the early game, it's super easy to abuse. Continue down, Maneater Bug gets a common reprint. So again, this makes him a lot easier to get instead of just having Ultras, Maneating Treasure Chest. So again, that's 3 16s in this deck alone, which just immediately replaces all of the offensive monsters that we already had. Monster Reborn, nice common. Mystic Clown's in here if you wanted a 15. They give you the Elf. They give you Neo the Magic Swordsman, new top tier, 1700. Reinforcements is probably going to be one of the best traps in the early game because this allows you to gain 500 attack value until the end of the turn to one of your monster cards. So again, just even like the mid monsters at 16 can now attack over the defense monsters by jumping to 2100. You got Remove Trap. It's essentially D-Spell, but again, traps, they're kind of picking up. Remove Trap is okay. It should definitely be in side decks. Reverse Trap is kind of there. Soul Exchange, super important card for like ever. It's been printed in everything but Rush Duels right now, so that's cool. Summon Skull gives you all the power. Again, this is like a preprint because I want to say he comes out in Metal Raiders as an Ultra. It does count as an Arc Fiend, even though Arc Fiends are not a thing quite yet. Will be retrained a few times. We'll gain his whole own archetype. Summon Skull is the epitome of power. So you now have the stats of Dark Magician on the offense, but we can do it for 1 tribute instead of 2. This is also going to offset how much you're going to want to play Blue Eyes. Because again, Blue Eyes is going to require 2 tributes. And now we're talking about something they can get there with reinforcements. So Blue Eyes, again, even though he's the toughest normal monster card I think ever printed attack value-wise, he may fall out of fashion here. You start having attributal equip cards. So like this Sword of Dark Destruction, it loses defense, but it gives 400 attack to dark monsters. This will actually become worth something in a moment, and then only for a little while. You'll have some crazy flip effects like the Stern Mystic here. Reveal all face down cards on field. Flip effects not activated, and then return them. So he's just a quick sneak peek. Again, Trap Holes. Trap Masters, everything the Armed Ninja was for spells, but he's going to do it for the trap cards. Ultimate Offering is going to be one of those cards, again, if you're not playing this, when it's common and in both starter decks, you're just not playing right. For an extra 500 points during your main phase and maybe your opponent's battle phase, I'm not sure if that was the original text. We do have some older prints. We will check. We'll play it the way that it was played back then. For the extra 500 points, you get to swarm the field, my friends. This is super important. Wabaku, probably one of the best trap cards. Gladiator Beasts love this in the future. The way this one's going to work, you take no battle damage this turn. Your monsters can't be destroyed by battle this turn. So even if your monsters were even, you can actually take out your opponent's monsters while saving yours. And the next best one, the best defender of the time period, Wall of Illusion. This is 150 points weaker than 4 other cards, but this card actually does change the state of the board. So what's going to happen is the monster that does attack into this is going to bounce and return to the owner's hand after damage calculation. So Wall of Illusion just stays winning. But you get a ton of iconic cards. You get your Witty Phantom in here. So many cool things. So many, again, high-level good cards. But that's only half the story. If we look up, not Kiba, let's try that again. Let's try Kaiba. So, Kaiba, starter deck Kaiba, again, 329 of 02. You're going to get Ancient Telescope. I want to say this is like, you can rearrange top 5 cards. Nope, look at the top 5 of your opponent's deck. So that's good. Battle Ox immediately breaking into the 1700s. So now, again, you guys could see, like, our old offensive lineup is just going to change. Blue Eyes, again, it's a second art. So this is great for collectors. Castle Walls, again. We get Dehuman, Dark Assailant. Dark Energy. Was this one for Fiends? This one was for Fiends. Dark Hole gets a common reprint real quick. D-Spell in here. Fissure in here. Gyakuteru Megami. I don't remember what she gets used in later, but like she actually sees play later on, which is crazy because I think she's only had a couple of prints, and one of them is an anniversary pack as an ultra rare with an alternate art for some reason. Just is what it is. Good old Hane Hane gets a reprint here. Invigoration is the +4 -2 for Earth. The Judge Man is actually going to pull up second to our Summoned Skulls. So again, for one tribute, we get 22, but you guys got to remember, we've also got Reinforcements, which is a bland 500. So again, he can punch outside of his weight class, which makes him a great card, and severely, like, crazily underestimated. Again, you're looking at, like, 3 packs, maybe more. Doesn't get a lot of print, but was good for the time period. Just Desserts kind of lets us play a little bit of a burn strategy. Opponent takes 500 per monster card. So again, the way that me and Celestial were just building those big boards and sitting on a bunch of monster cards, this now punishes the opponent for playing too many cards to the field. So especially if you're playing defense. You get cards like Kajikasi, Kamori Dragon, Quick 15s. Lajin is the peak beast at this point. My boy is 1800 on a 4-star, and this becomes like a power cap for quite a while, with only a few of them breaking higher. And so for like vanilla beats, he's going to stay relevant for a while. We get the Lord of Dragon. Lord of Dragons felt like a waste of a super rare, if I'm being honest, back then. But it was because I didn't see the potential and I didn't have the funds to make him really pop. Because, like, the good dragons were, like, weak dragons. They weren't, like, great dragons. The best dragons, Blue Eyes. And then it's like, did you have any other really good dragons? Maybe, maybe not. So I got something planned to show off what I could do with that. Monster Reborn doing its thing. Mysterious Puppeteer kind of gives us a look at what future life gain might be. This has to have new text saying it's not part of the puppet archetype. If another monster is normal or flip summoned, you get to gain 500 life points. Now, it does exclude special summoning. So, like, in today's meta in 2024, this is not going to do what you want it to do. But back then, when you had things like Ultimate Offering, if you were playing Mysterious Puppeteer, you get to gain when your opponent summons monsters, but you could pay the life and then normal summon and then gain the life back. This guy could totally offset the cost for you like day one. So again, Mysterious Puppeteer kind of cracked. Again, we get like Mystic Clown, Mystic Horseman, Ogre. Ukazi, quick 800 burn card. This is still semi-relevant in today's burn decks. Reinforcements is in here. Remove Trap. Was D-Spell in this one as well? Yep. So they were trying to give all the players, like if you only had $30, you can only buy 3 copies of structure decks. You'd probably buy 3 of one of them. And a lot of people I know started with the Kaiba one because it had a little more oomph. And then they'd finish with the Yugi one for the rest of the strategy. Again, we got Remove Trap, we got Reverse Trap, we got Rogue Doll at 16, you got Rude Kaiser at 18. So he's not technically one of the worst, but he's bad when you stack him up against cards like Judge Man and Summoned Skull. You got a Ryukushin and Ryukushin Powered, so you kind of get to see like evolution of cards already in Yu-Gi-Oh! And again, you can check out their text. Elusive creature that looks harmless until it attacks. Basically, he's a gargoyle. And this is a gargoyle enhanced by the powers of darkness. Very sharp talons make it a worthy opponent. And you can almost see how it's an evolution of it. Skull Redbird gets the reprint. Sword Stalker, I wish he had like a little more attack value because I totally wanted to play this. He was in the Stacks deck for the 2024 2-player starter deck setup, and I would have loved to have been playing with some Sword Stalkers. Fluted Summoning again felt like a bad super rare at the time, but it's okay. Inexperienced Spy, select and see a card in your opponent's hand. Underrated for what it is. Could have been better, but it's the beginning of the game, guys. Like, it is what it is. Wicked Worm Beast is kind of a goofball. This is a prelude to Spirit Monsters later. Once per turn during the end phase, this returns if it was face up. He sees some use in some beatdown decks, especially with Ultimate Offerings, because it just makes him easier to play. You get Trap Holes again, they're just giving them away. Trap Masters giving them away. Ultimate Offerings, 2-pronged attack. Urabi finds his home in here. So technically you get a reprint of all the 4-star beaters, and you get a lot of additional stuff. Now, Beatdown gains a lot. We get 2 17s, we gain an 18. We gain 2 tribute monsters that are 22 and 25. Again, if you want to play the most effective, you can drop Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes does not need to be played anymore for a successful beatdown build. So there's that. I do think there's more than 2 decks that can be played now. And we do get some time before we get a ban list. So all these cards are still legal. All of these cards will be at 3s, my friends. So that said, we will be upgrading these. Again, we will be able to play the 3 times everything. And the beauty with that is this is going to be the last set before the ban list where Exodia goes to 1-all and stays there for the rest of the game. Our boy is just too powerful. You can't have this many good cards with him. So this deck is just going to upgrade. This deck is going to drastically change. The heart of the spirit of the way that it plays is going to stay the same. But the deck itself has to evolve, or it's just going to continually lose. So that said, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. This is a quick look at the history of the sets. This was started at Kaiba and Yugi. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to build some decks for you guys. We'll get back to you with some profiles for it. Still working on all the other stuff, guys. Don't worry. The channel has not turned just into this. I just wanted to make it to the first ban list. And before, this is just like a, once a week type thing or twice a week type thing. Because I gotta wait for cards to come in. I gotta order. We gotta continually look at the card pool. Celestial's gotta build decks. I gotta build decks, and it's a whole thing. So, for now, my friends, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. Do the things, help support the channel, like, comment, sub, share with your friends, do the stuff. Go out there, enjoy your day, my friends. Okay, do something that you guys have been putting off for yourself, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.